Hello. In this video, I'm going to cover how to add Bootstrap to a multi-page application, and more generally just to a bundled application with Node.js in general. So first I'm going to go to the Bootstrap website, and I can explain a little bit about what this site is. So this is just a front-end portfolio with multiple pages. Each page is a different HTML file, so that when I want to add, say, a style sheet to one of these pages, I have to actually include it on each separate page, and this allows me to, for example, have a React app on one page and have just a vanilla JavaScript site on a different page, and it's all on the same app here, bundled together. Now, I'm doing this with Vite, and I've shown how to create this in prior videos, but the important thing here is adding Bootstrap. So if you go to Bootstrap and you look for Vite, there should be some documentation about how to specifically get Bootstrap integrated with a Vite project. And so there's a lot of boilerplate here about getting set up with Vite in general, but I already have a Vite project here. As you can see, I have a Vite config.js, and I'm running this currently with Vite when I run npm run dev. So I'm just going to stop my application, and I'm going to just start from adding Bootstrap and one of its dependencies, which is pop or core. So I'll copy that and install those to my project. And it also wants me to have Sass, which is kind of like an extension to CSS that Bootstrap is going to be relying on a little bit. Now they talk about the project structure. I can really structure this however I like, but I'm going to want to make sure I have Vite configured if there's anything particular we need here. Seems like not. And we're going to have some, for example, Bootstrap styles to go into our HTML so that we can see when it's working. So I'm just going to do this on the home page. We have a kind of a header and a footer and some basic content. And I'm just going to add this below this test button, or I could actually just make it this test button to have the Bootstrap styles of button primary, so that I can see if it looks like a Bootstrap button that I would expect. Whereas the other buttons on my page will look like something different. So I'll add that to my test button, and then I'll keep moving. I already have a script to run Vite, and I need to import Bootstrap into an SCSS file, and then I need to import my SCSS file into some JavaScript, and then presumably I'm going to need to use my JavaScript inside of that HTML. So if we check up here, we have a script being added into the HTML above the body in this case. So I can put that in the head just like they have it. Drop that in there. It's going to be getting that from somewhere. So I'm going to add this to my styles, and since this is really going to be a styling JavaScript file, I'm going to put it in the styles folder. So I'll create one called sitewide.scss, and then I'll also create a sitewide or a styles.js. So that's going to be a JavaScript file, and then I can import the JavaScript file so that it executes. That's going to go to, I'll just do the absolute path, which is going to start from source. So it'll be slash and then styles slash styles.js. And as a sanity check, I can just do an alert hi from styles. Now I'm going to npm run dev just to show my application here, and reload. So you can see that I have my test button has the original site-wide styling, and when I reload this, I'm not seeing my styles JavaScript file run. So let's make sure this is configured correctly. Well, it is also in /, so let's just do the relative path. This is /about page. This should be happening. Oh, we need to go to home. And there it goes. So we weren't getting an alert, but now we should be getting one. I think I was just on the wrong page. And there we go, hi from style. So we know that that JavaScript file is getting imported, which means we can move ahead importing the SCSS from the SCSS file, and then import the Bootstrap SCSS into the SCSS. So put import to the SCSS, and then we'll import to the styles the Bootstrap file right here. So we're going to import our JavaScript for Bootstrap, which we also shouldn't need unless we want this to be global, probably variable. So we can do from, and I'll fix this to be an absolute path. And then fix that so we're getting everything fine with an absolute path. And then we will import styles from /styles, so source/styles /styles.css, except it's going to be not that, it's going to be sitewide.scss. And now we get Bootstrap, and we're going to have this issue where SCSS is having these deprecation warnings for Bootstrap, and the reason for that, we are getting our styling coming in here even without this JavaScript import. This JavaScript import is just when we want to use Bootstrap's features using JavaScript, so we can do that whenever we want to in our JavaScript, but for just its style sheets we only really need the SCSS. And so a couple observations here. We can get rid of this console log. One observation is that it's styling that page. Another is that it's only styling that page because we've only imported this JavaScript file on a single HTML page at this point. So all of our other pages are going to be styled as they were. And you'll see that the after things load, this does take some time for Bootstrap to update everything, but it's overriding a lot of our styling. Like, for example, the background color is overridden and the button styling is changed as we expect. So one important note here about my site is that it's currently, for simplicity, only supporting dark mode. And so you can see that because, say I go to home and I change the color mode to prefers color scheme dark, and I reload, nothing is changing. This is the Bootstrap styled one. The same is going to be true if I go to one of my other pages. It's only going to show in this dark color because I don't have any support for a different color scheme. Now if you were to go to a site like Google, which would support different color modes, you'll see I can set this temporarily to prefers color scheme light, which is not my actual preference, but I can simulate that preference, and you'll see I get the light mode version of Google, whereas I can go back to the default and get the automatic dark mode, which I have as my preference. My site does not support that, so I'm only going to have to handle dark mode because I've specified that. And you can see I've specified that in my site-wide CSS, where I said color scheme at root, I said color scheme dark. And color scheme can either be light, dark, or light space dark, which would mean both light and dark. And so this is basically telling the browser that, hey, this site only supports dark mode, or it could say it only supports light mode, or it could say it supports both. But I wouldn't want to lie and say dark light if really I only support dark mode. So now I'll go to home, and I want all of my contrast to look good, so I need this to be dark mode, and fortunately Bootstrap has dark mode by as a nice style that you can just put on your body on your HTML, for example. So we can go here and just search for the Bootstrap not Boots Radford, Bootstrap dark mode style, and the dark mode class is going to be data BS theme. So on our body here, which is everything visible on the page, we can just place the class of data BS theme, and we're going to have to set that equal to, sorry, that's not a class, but that is the attribute, and it's going to be equal to dark. Now you'll see that Bootstrap has gone from light to dark, where if we had it light, it would be this. If it's dark, it's like that. And you'll notice a slight font difference between the Bootstrap page and the non-Bootstrap pages, because these are being styled by my site-wide CSS, while this is the site-wide CSS is being overridden by Bootstrap. And you'll see that Bootstrap button style comes into play as well. So there still may be some intersection going on with my style sheet. So if I want to completely get rid of my default style sheet, you can see that things change a bit as well, but I like to have at least some of those things coming in to make it look somewhat consistent with what it did before, and I'm pretty happy with how those two things come together now. Everything should be pretty good except for these annoying deprecation warnings, so a quick Google search can help us find the solution to that, which is essentially it's a conflict between SCSS and Bootstrap. So if we do Bootstrap SCSS version Reddit, I know that this was something someone found a solution for on Reddit before, so I was trying to figure out what this error was with the version, and they were using, if we check the package.json, they were using Bootstrap version 5.3.3, similar to me, because they're not yet at 5.3.4, so they pinned their Sass at 1776. And if I look at my Sass dependency, you'll see that Sass is a dev dependency at 185.1. So to resolve this deprecation warning, I'm going to pin my Sass version lower. So I can ask Copilot to downgrade Sass npm to 1776. And this is what I want. So I'll run that command. It installed that different Sass version. It says above 1776, but probably want it to just be exactly 1776. This should be good. npm run dev. Visit my site. See those Bootstrap changes come in. All my other pages are the same, and I'm no longer getting those deprecation warnings about the Sass version. So that is how you add Bootstrap to a bundled Vite application in the suggested way by Bootstrap. There's a little bit of a challenge here in that when the site first loads, it might not have all your styles there, and that's probably something that we can solve, but based on the suggested approach for Bootstrap, this is how we're supposed to pull things together. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.